Good morning, good people. Let me ask y'all a real question. How many years are you going to sit around talking about next year? How many times are you going to say, I'm going to start Monday? You said that last Monday. You said that last year. Listen, life ain't waiting on you. Time don't care about your excuses. Time don't feel sorry for you. You either use it or you lose it. Simple as that. See, every year people write down these resolutions, talk big about what they're about to do. But by February, they right back to the same habits. Watching TV, scrolling their phone, putting off their dreams like they got forever to get it right. Let me wake you up real quick. You don't. You keep saying one day. No, day one starts today. I don't care where you are in life. I don't care how much you done messed up. I don't care if you broke, tired, scared, or feel stuck. You still breathing, so you still got a chance. Somebody woke up this morning with plans and they ain't gonna see the end of the day. Somebody had big dreams and now their time is up, but you still here, so what you waiting for? Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody about to hand you success. You want that business, that career, that better body, that better life? You gotta go get it. Your gift, your talent, that thing you do so well, that ain't an accident. That was given to you. But what good is a gift if you never unwrap it? See, too many people die with their dreams still inside them. They never wrote the book, never started the business, never took the leap. They let fear, doubt, and procrastination steal their own destiny. I don't want that for you. And I know you don't want that for yourself. So let me tell you right now, this is your year, but only if you make it your year. This is your time, but only if you take action. You have a plan, but only if you step into it. Stop playing, stop waiting, stop thinking you got time to waste, because the only thing worse than failure is regret. So get up, get moving, and don't waste another year of this beautiful life you've been given. Let's go. Time waits for no one. Use it or lose it. Every single day the clock is moving, whether you choose to move with it or not. The sun rises, the sun sets, and life keeps going forward. It doesn't pause for you to get ready. It doesn't slow down while you figure things out. And it certainly doesn't rewind so you can fix yesterday. That's the reality. Time is the one thing in life you can't buy, you can't borrow, and you can't negotiate with. You either take advantage of it or it slips through your fingers like sand. People wake up every morning thinking they have time to waste. They hit the snooze button, not just on their alarm, but on their goals, their dreams, and their responsibilities. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year, when the conditions are right, when they feel ready. You think successful people wake up every morning with all the answers? No. They wake up and get to work. They understand that time is a currency, and every single second spent doing nothing is a second that could have been invested into something great. Look around. How many people do you know that are still talking about what they were gonna do? 5 years ago, they said they were gonna lose weight. 5 years later, they're still talking about, I need to get back in the gym. 5 years ago, they said they were gonna start that business. 5 years later, they still got the same idea, the same excuses, and the same empty pockets. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent, it's urgency. It's understanding that if you don't use the time you have now, you might not get another shot. Look at how fast a year passes. You blink and January is over. You blink again and it's summer, one more blink and boom, another year is gone. And here's the truth. You're either getting better or you're staying the same. Time don't care what you do with it, but the results of how you use it will always show up. You ever see somebody who looks back at their life and wonders where the time went? That's regret. Regret is the ghost of wasted time. It's the pain of knowing you had a chance, but you let it slip away. And the worst part, you can't go back and change it. Think about all the things you say you want. That dream job, that fit body, that financial freedom, that successful business, that better lifestyle. Now ask yourself, what are you actually doing about it? Are you taking real action every day, or are you just thinking about it? Because time don't move based on what you're planning to do. It only responds to action. The more you sit and wait, the more you let fear, doubt, and laziness talk you out of it, the more time you waste. And once that time is gone, you can't rewind it, you can't respend it, you can't get a refund. Opportunities are like windows. They open for a moment and then they close. If you're too busy hesitating, too busy second-guessing yourself, too busy waiting for the right time, that window will close before you ever make a move. You know how many people missed out on opportunities just because they were too slow to act? How many people could have changed their whole life, but they let procrastination keep them stuck? You don't want to be one of them. The problem is most people don't understand the value of time until they don't have much of it left. People in their 60s and 70s will tell you, I wish I had done this when I was younger. People who've been through serious health scares will tell you, I wish I didn't take my time for granted. The realest truth is you don't know how much time you got. None of us do. You could have 50 years ahead of you or you could have 5 months. That's not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Because if you really understood how precious time is, you wouldn't waste another second. You wouldn't spend hours scrolling through nonsense on your phone, watching TV shows you don't even care about, having the same pointless conversations with people who ain't going nowhere. You wouldn't let distractions steal your focus, and you definitely wouldn't let fear keep you from taking action. Everybody wants to live their best life, but not everybody is willing to put in the work now to have that life later. They'd rather sit and wait, hoping something changes on its own. But let me tell you something. Nothing changes if you don't change. The body you want, you gotta put in the work now. The career you want, you gotta grind for it now. The peace of mind, the financial freedom, the success, it all starts now. Not next year, not next month, not next Monday, right now. You ever notice how people make excuses about not having enough time, but somehow they got time for everything that don't matter? They say they don't have time to start a business, but they got time to binge watch an entire Netflix series in 2 days. They say they don't have time to work out, but they got time to scroll social media for hours. They say they don't have time to read, to learn, to grow, but they somehow find time to do things that bring no value to their future. The truth is, it ain't about not having time, it's about not prioritizing time. Successful people understand that every minute counts. They don't waste their mornings laying in bed. They don't waste their nights doing things that don't serve their goals. They don't make excuses, they make moves. If you want to be great, if you want to see real results in your life, you have to start treating time like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose opportunities and create new ones, but you will never, ever get back the time you waste. Every second gone is gone forever. And if you keep letting them slip away, you're going to wake up one day realizing you spent more time wishing than you did doing. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much time you've already wasted. What matters is what you do from this moment forward, because the only way to make up for lost time is to stop losing more of it. Your dreams won't chase you. You have to chase them. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has that vision of a life they wish they could live, that goal they think about when they're alone, that thing that excites them but also scares them at the same time. The problem is, most people never go after it. They sit around waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for somebody to come along and hand it to them, waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. But that's not how dreams work. Your dream ain't about to show up at your front door, knock, and say, here I am, let's go. That's not reality. The truth is, if you don't chase your dream, it will never become real. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't sit back and wait. They didn't just think about what they wanted. They got up and took action. They chased their dreams down like their life depended on it. They sacrificed, they worked, they failed, they got back up, and they kept moving forward no matter how hard it got. They didn't have all the answers. They didn't know exactly how everything was going to work out. But they knew one thing for sure. If they didn't go after it, nobody else was going to do it for them. Too many people waste years just thinking about what they want to do. They talk about it, dream about it, plan for it, but they never actually start. They convince themselves that they need more time, more resources, more confidence, more approval. They let fear and doubt build walls between them and their goals. They come up with a million excuses for why now isn't the right time. But the truth is, the only thing standing between them and their dream is them. Nobody is coming to push you. Nobody is going to force you to do the work. If you don't wake up every day with a hunger to go after what you want, you will stay exactly where you are. The dream you have in your mind will stay a dream, nothing more. That book you want to write will stay in your head. That business you want to start will stay an idea. That career you want will stay out of reach, because dreams don't move unless you move. People say they want success, but they don't want to do what success requires. They want to be in shape, but they don't want to go to the gym. They want to be rich, but they don't want to put in the late nights and early mornings. They want to be great, but they don't want to go through the struggle that comes with greatness. See, it's easy to want something. It's easy to talk about how much you want to be successful, how much you want to change your life. But talking about it don't make it happen. Work does. You ever see someone who's living the life you wish you had? They got the career, the freedom, the lifestyle that you dream about, and you sit there wondering, why them and not me? It's not luck. It's not magic. It's because they did the work. They took the risk. They got uncomfortable. They made sacrifices. They chased after it with everything they had. And while they were putting in the work, you were sitting back waiting for the perfect time, waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to go for it. Nobody is going to give you permission to chase your dream. You have to give yourself permission. You have to believe in yourself before anyone else does. You have to be willing to put in the effort when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping for you, when nobody believes in you, because that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The doers understand that the dream is just step one. The real work starts after that. Most people quit before they even start. They let the fear of failure stop them from ever taking the first step. They tell themselves, what if I try and I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if it doesn't work out? What if this thing you've been dreaming about could actually change your life? What if all that fear you've been holding onto is the only thing keeping you from the life you're meant to have? Fear will always be there. Doubt will always creep in. But you got to decide that your dream is bigger than your fear. You got to decide that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many times you fail, you are going to keep going. Because if you stop, if you quit, if you sit back and let time pass, nothing will change. And you will be stuck in the same place a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, wondering what could have been. The people who make it in life aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who get knocked down and get back up. They're the ones who don't wait for the perfect moment. They make the moment perfect by taking action. They don't let excuses control them. They don't wait for motivation to come to them. They get up every day and make it happen. Some of you have been sitting on your dreams for too long. You keep telling yourself you'll start next year, next month, next week, but next never comes. And deep down, you know that. You know you've been playing it safe. You know you've been holding back. You know you've been waiting for something that ain't coming. It's time to stop waiting. It's time to stop making excuses. It's time to stop hoping somebody else will come along and make it easier for you. The moment you decide to chase your dream with everything you've got is the moment your life starts to change. The moment you stop waiting and start doing is the moment doors start opening. Not because the world suddenly decided to be kind to you, but because you made a decision to step into your purpose. You don't need permission. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to start. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for somebody to believe in you. Stop waiting for a sign. This is your moment. This is your life. And your dream, it's waiting on you. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Every choice you make comes with a cost. Either you pay the price of discipline today, or you suffer the weight of regret tomorrow. Discipline requires effort, sacrifice, and discomfort. It means waking up early when you want to sleep in, going to the gym when you don't feel like it, putting in extra hours when everyone else is relaxing. It's hard. But the thing about discipline is that the pain it brings doesn't last forever. It's temporary. The soreness from a workout fades. The exhaustion from a long night of work passes. The struggle of pushing yourself beyond your limits eventually turns into success. The pain of discipline is real, but it is always short-lived, and it always leads to something greater. Regret, on the other hand, is a different kind of pain. It doesn't go away easily. It lingers. It haunts you. It's the realization that you could have been better. You could have done more, but you didn't. It's looking back at opportunities you let slip away, knowing that you can never get them back. It's watching someone else succeed and realizing that they weren't smarter or more talented than you. They were just more disciplined. They were willing to endure temporary discomfort to get what they wanted, while you let fear, laziness, or distractions hold you back. Regret comes in different forms. Sometimes it's the regret of not taking a chance. You had an opportunity to start something big, but you hesitated. You waited for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect situation, and while you were waiting, the opportunity passed. Now you sit and wonder what could have been. Other times, regret comes from knowing you didn't give your best effort. You started, but you didn't stay consistent. You let distractions pull you away. You let excuses pile up, and now you're left with the realization that if you had just been disciplined, if you had just stuck with it, you'd be in a completely different place right now. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Everybody has goals. Everybody has dreams, but very few people have the discipline to achieve them. They start strong, but when things get tough, they quit. They let temporary discomfort keep them from long-term success. The truth is, discipline is not about how you feel in the moment. It's about committing to the process no matter what. You may not feel like getting up early, but you do it anyway. You may not feel like working out, but you show up anyway. You may not feel like putting in extra effort, but you push through anyway. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Successful people don't rely on motivation because motivation fades. They rely on discipline because discipline lasts. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they have time. They think they can put things off until later. They say they'll start eating healthy next week. They'll work on their dream next month. They'll get serious about their goals next year. But next never comes. The time passes and they're still in the same place, making the same excuses. Eventually, the weight of all that wasted time turns into regret. And the worst kind of regret is knowing you had the potential but didn't use it. Knowing you could have been more, done more, achieved more, but you didn't have the discipline to follow through. Think about all the times in your life when you avoided something hard because you didn't feel like doing it. Now think about how much further along you'd be if you had just done it anyway. Imagine if instead of making excuses, you had built good habits. Imagine if instead of giving up when it got difficult, you had pushed through. You'd be in better shape. You'd have more money, you'd be further in your career, you'd be living a different life. But every time you chose comfort over discipline, you paid the price with regret. Discipline is a daily decision. You don't just wake up one day with it. You build it over time by making the right choices over and over again. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. The more you choose discipline over comfort, the easier it becomes. Eventually, what once felt hard becomes second nature. The workouts that used to feel impossible become a normal part of your routine. The work that used to drain you starts to feel like a natural part of your process. The sacrifices you made no longer feel like sacrifices. They feel like necessary steps towards your success. On the other hand, the more you give in to excuses, the harder it becomes to break free. The more you choose laziness over effort, the easier it becomes to justify it. The more you allow distractions to take your focus, the harder it becomes to regain control of your time. Discipline and regret work the same way. They both grow stronger over time, depending on which one you feed. If you consistently choose discipline, you build a life you're proud of. If you consistently avoid it, regret takes over. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has moments of weakness. But the key is to not let those moments turn into habits. You may slip up, but you don't let one bad day turn into a bad week or one bad week turn into a bad year. You recognize when you're making excuses and you course correct. You remind yourself that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. People admire success, but they don't always see the discipline behind it. They see the athlete winning championships, but they don't see the hours of training, the early mornings, the strict diet, the sacrifices. They see the entrepreneur making millions, but they don't see the years of hard work, the sleepless nights, the failures they had to push through. Success is built on discipline. And if you aren't willing to put in the work, you won't get the results. Think about the future version of yourself, the version of you that is in shape, successful, financially free, living the life you dream about. That version of you only exists if you make the right choices today, if you stay disciplined, if you stop making excuses, if you stop choosing comfort over progress. Every time you decide to push through instead of quitting, you get closer to that version of yourself. Every time you let discipline win over laziness, you move one step closer to your goals. The pain of discipline is real. It's not easy to wake up early, to push yourself, to do things you don't feel like doing. But that pain is temporary. The soreness fades. The tiredness passes. The struggle turns into strength. But the pain of regret, that stays with you. That voice in the back of your head reminding you that you could have done more, but you didn't. That feeling in your gut when you see someone else living the life you wanted, knowing the only difference between you and them is that they were disciplined enough to go after it. The good news is you still have a choice. You can decide right now that you're done letting time slip away. You can decide that from this moment on, you will choose discipline over excuses. You can decide that you will not be someone who looks back at life with regret. You will be someone who takes control, who puts in the work, who builds the future they want. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because while the pain of discipline may be temporary, the rewards last a lifetime.